Hello, how are you? And welcome to Josiah is Right. So I'm joined by Primrose, who is most definitely the shy one in the family, but she's also the tough one, toughest member of this family right here. So this is my PowerCon collecting recap. So I wanted to do a video talking about the collectibles I got. So I'm going to start by just showing you the various things around me as long as this kid lets me reach. So we're going to start with the shirt that I'm wearing. So this is Sunbow. And it comes from comicbookclothing.com, CBC Clothing and Accessories. So comic book clothing, they have a spot at Frankensons, and so check out their Instagram and Facebook and so on. I am going to follow them. I haven't yet, but I really like this shirt. That's one of the first things I got. And we'll stay with shirts. So the shirt that is covered with dog fur right now, this is my Mecha Neck. So, you okay, kid? At the last PowerCon, I didn't realize all of their t-shirts are pre-orders. So I saw all these people with these great t-shirts and I didn't pre-order one because I thought I'll just pick one up at the show. You can't do that. So this is my one t-shirt pre-order. They have like 3 or 4 each show, but I only went with one. So, and not necessarily my favorite character, but I think just the shirt, it's really visually striking. Although it was a very cool toy. Then, of course, the PowerCon program guide. I've never even looked at this because I was so busy at the show running my own booth. And it was a lot of fun, met a lot of cool people. But I have 2 of these, so maybe I do the collage thing. So maybe some will become collages. One will definitely be kept for me. One will maybe be dismembered and be a collage, because that would be a great collage right there, that cover. And even maybe for the next PowerCon to make a special edition collage out of the brochure there. So next up, I might jump around a little bit, but no, before I do that. So this is from Michael Swanigan, and this is a storyboard book that he signed for me. So he had different stuff, different shows that he worked on. I was really tempted to buy a couple of them, but I just kind of stuck with He-Man. And I would definitely seek out more of these. I really like this kind of thing. And it's just cool to see the process of storyboarding. It's cool to see how the process has evolved from the early 1980s until 40 years later, basically. So that is a cool one. And this is not a PowerCon collectible pickup, but my friend Brian got me this. So Brian did the Master of the Universe episode right before PowerCon, and then he sends me a toy. So if you do my podcast, you are obligated to purchase me a toy. So this is Mossman, who had the coolest moment in that episode, and I will unbox this soon and get playing with it. I just got my HasLab Sentinel, so that will be my priority toy to unleash upon the world. So what is next? I will stick with the animator stuff while I'm on it. So this is from Tom. Oh man, what is your name, Tom? But he signed this to my girls, and I also got him to sign something else with some of the other animators, which I'll talk about in a minute here. You can see it right there. But this is for Prim and Penny. Penny's a big fan of Orko. She saw this right away and was very excited. And I told her, oh, the artist signed it for you. She's excited to have it on her wall. As much as she would probably prefer toys and things like that. I'm kind of looking back and forth. Oh. And then this is my favorite of the pieces from the animators. So this is from Larry Houston, who was instrumental in Exo Squad. I talked to him at length about that. That's my favorite show, possibly of all time. Not even joking. Definitely my favorite animated series. Outside of the Simpsons, the first 6 to 10 seasons-ish. But this show is also up there, and he didn't have anything Exo Squad, but I couldn't not get this. And like I said, my HasLab Sentinel came this week, so I'll figure out a way to frame this and display this right next to that, and I'm excited about that, and it's just a really great, nice, beautiful print. I wish I would have got something Exo Squad again, but he didn't have anything, so maybe I'll meet him in another show and get something Exo Squad. So next up will be some toys, and I will try to cut to some close-up shots. I haven't opened all these yet, but you can see these are from, it was Godbeast Toy Mafia, and what's it like? I'm new to this idea, but these are a group of guys that all really cool, like great neighbors to have at the convention. They were in the spot next to me, and I might not have found their stuff because I wasn't out that much. If you watch my recap video, that's almost all the time I spent walking the floor with a few exceptions. And so these are all interchangeable. So you pop his head off and swap it out with a different head. And you can do that with all these different figures from a handful of these guys who do their own designs. And then Master of the Universe inspired piece here. And then this one is the fridge. So Manor Monster Studios and Warlords of War. There's like sublines within it, and I just lost track because I think there's like 4 or 5 guys together that are doing this. This represents one artist in this, and plus the other one is another. Jeremy here and Brandon did this one, and then there was a couple more that, my apologies for, I joked right away that I wouldn't remember their names like as soon as I met them, and here we are. So, but these are cool because they're all interchangeable. You can build your own sort of super figures and freak figures and all that kind of thing. And it's a cool little, I love that scale. I'm an Exo Squad fan of the cartoon, and I love that the figures are sort of in that size. So maybe once I reconfigure my display, these guys will be somewhere near my Exo Squad stuff. So we're almost down to the last few things here. So first, yeah. She drank all of her juice. This is actually her sister's juice cup, so. But Penny is at school, so that's why Prim and I get to do this video. So this is the Fantastic Worlds, The Art of William Stout. So I bought this from William Stout. This is my most expensive purchase at the convention. And it is just this fantastic art book that chronicles his whole career. And I might just do a separate review on this. It's a little bit of an older book. A few years ago, this came out from, I think Sideshow did it. But inside the front cover, and I'll cut to a shot when I open it because yeah, she liked it too. And Mr. Stout was nice to you. He waved to you in the stroller, even though you had a bad attitude. She was crying like crazy. She was cool for a little bit and then was over the whole convention thing. Like growing up with the first few years of her life, COVID, this was the first show she's ever been to outside of the womb. A little overwhelming for her. Me too. Anyway, so I will show you, he and I were talking, and it's really cool because I'm on the absolute fringes of the entertainment industry, but he knows one of my grad school teachers, Mark Evanier, so I got to talk about Mark. The joke for me is Mark never remembers me, even though I was in a class of like 4 people and him, and he never remembers me anytime I see him. I still love him and really appreciate his teaching. He taught me comedy writing, which I don't know how I took to it. He's a very funny man. Anyway, he also knows Stephen Chiodo and the Chiodo brothers, who I know and love and done a lot of stuff with me in the past when I ran a film festival. They're awesome guys, and I hope to partner with them just as myself in the future. But all that said, I was asking him, what's the one design that you wish made it to screen? Because he had designs for the Master of the Universe film and things that it looks different than what you saw in the final product for various reasons, mostly budgetary limitations. But specifically, when I asked him that question, he said, he didn't even hesitate. He said Godzilla. So in the early 80s, I believe, he was working on a Godzilla film, and because there were some big budget failures, they just decided not to make the movie. And Godzilla was the one design he wished he got to make, or see make it to the screen, rather. So with this, he does a sketch, and he said, well, what do you want me to sketch? And I didn't hesitate as well and said Godzilla. I thought it was just perfect. I'm not even a huge Godzilla fan. I like Godzilla, but I thought it was just such a cool artifact to have within this book, and I will probably do a separate review just looking at this book, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you, Mr. Stout, for being awesome in general. Oh, that book is heavy. My arm is about to fall off. It's like carrying around this kid, the clingy kid. So behind me you will see the collage with the comic book art from the movie adaptation and Drew Struzan's poster. Now that's my collage work, which I do as comic collage art. You can find it on Instagram, comic collage on Etsy, things. So that is my own work, and that was originally for sale. I actually had that at the last PowerCon and didn't sell it. And I really think I would have sold it in a heartbeat this time for whatever reason, as opposed to the last convention, but I decided not to sell it because he signed it. So it's going to be part of my collection. I don't keep a lot of my collages. I have one Empire Strikes Back sort of snow scene collage that I've kept for myself, and now this. And there were pieces that I considered keeping for myself that eventually gave away, or sold, mostly sold, though I occasionally give them away too. And so this is now for me. There's a joke though that if you hit the right price, I would probably sell it, but it's that sort of unreachable price, although you could try. Anyway, so here is his concept art of Tila. This is the only other concept or sort of art that I bought from him. It's a print. The reason I got this is I have Tila from the animated series Animation Cell. I have a Tila designed by Mark Taylor, his original design, which it was his concept for the Sorceress, which became Tila. So I just wanted to kind of keep that going, and it makes me want to sort of do the same thing for He-Man or other characters that I like more. I like Tila, don't get me wrong, but it just, I think it would be cool. It's a cool way to do it. So I actually have this to sort of complete the set of Tila in her different incarnations and forms. And that is almost everything. Now the last thing, the most awesome thing, also Paul's art to give away my trading cards. He drew this really quickly so that we could have a little signage. So be sure to, if you want more of my cards, let me know, message me. I will give you some. I will send it to you. I'll throw it in an envelope and you'll get a set of trading cards. I have probably less than 100 left, but I only printed 250 and I didn't give all them out. So here is my Jumbo He-Man. Now this was not purchased at PowerCon. You see it? Who's that? That's He-Man. This was not purchased at PowerCon. I got this probably 5 years ago, maybe more. It was before Penny was born. She's 4, almost 5 now, 4.5, going 5 in January. So I bought this before she was born, clearance on the Mattel store. So this is, I think, $80 retail, and I got it for 40. And I wish I bought the other ones that they had. At the time, they had like Zodiac and Man-at-Arms, something, not a lot of them, Beastman maybe. I don't know which ones they had that they've made jumbo, but they only had a couple of them left on clearance, but including He-Man. And I regretted, and after the fact I had this idea, I thought at the last PowerCon, oh, I should take this and get it signed by various people who contributed to He-Man. So I have here a total of 7 signatures. You see Larry Houston down there, you see William Stout over there, you see Rudy Umberto over there. So he did the packaging art. William Stout, obviously the production designer on the film I talked about, Larry Houston on the cartoon and mini comics. And then over there, Michael Swanigan, cartoon. I have Skeletor, a few more that are escaping me, but everyone up in that corner there is all animation people. So I want to add to it that contributors from He-Man in the 80s. This is my most now prized, cherished collectible of probably anything I have. Most of the signatures I got myself. A few I had people get, including the one from Rudy there. A gentleman named Shane. Thank you, Shane, if you're watching this. I hope you are. Hope you found me on YouTube and stay in touch. But he got that signature for me because Rudy was only going to be there for a few hours because unfortunately Mark Taylor was not able to make the convention at the last minute, and so they announced that he would be there, Rudy would be there in his place, and only for like 2 hours. So I was like, can you go over and get this? Because at that time, Paul, who was awesome, thank you Paul, I couldn't have done the show without me, and Paul got at least one of these signatures too. Paul was in line for Mondo, and he got a Faker 6 scale. Paul is the king of 6 scale. We'll do a video about that in the future. But I couldn't leave. I didn't want to leave because it was really busy at my booth. And I was making sales and promoting Josiah is Right, so I didn't want to leave. And so I asked a total stranger with this toy, and a lot of people wanted to buy this from me. Even before the signatures, people were like, how much is it? And he went and got it for me. And that's PowerCon. That's the nature of this convention. It's a community, not just not just a show. It's really a community gathering, a community of He-Man fans, and you see the different types of He-Man fans from like the Hispanic community to the cliche 80s kids to their kids, and different communities that really get into He-Man for various reasons. And in 30 years, Prim will sell this at PowerCon, right? That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. You gonna try to get the little toys? Yeah, she's trying to get some toys over here. Thank you, and I will see you for sure at the next PowerCon. I can go to PowerCon. Without a doubt, I will be there again. Thank you so much. My favorite convention. Bye. You say bye to everybody? No, she doesn't do that. She's me with a worse attitude, and sometimes I have a bad one. I'll be back at PowerCon.